All right, everybody, welcome to a very special edition of Teaching Crypto. Please hit that like, that subscribe, bell notification. Super chats in the store are open. Huge day in crypto today. Yesterday, the Genius Act bill did not pass, but today it looks like it will. And you're seeing a nice recovery from Bitcoin because of that. So, yesterday, there were actually three things that didn't pass. And Mr. Trump was busy not releasing the Epstein files, but he did get 11 representatives who did voted against the bill to in person come see him. And supposedly today, those 11 people that voted against it will be voting for it today. The reasoning they had was a bit shady for me. It was, and so I think today it definitely will go through.
Yeah, my understanding is that these 11 representatives are from the Freedom Caucus, and their reason for voting it down was procedural, and that today we will get a positive vote or a yes vote from them. So yeah, my understanding is that this is sort of a hurdle that the bill had to get passed, and that it will end up getting through with no problems.
Yeah, and so you see Bitcoin yesterday, we actually hit 115, and I saw people panicking. Why would you panic at 115? We were just at 98K just a few weeks ago. So if you look at the price, again, I really was thinking 125 today would be nice. Not to, excuse me, got ahead of myself. Sorry. 125 this week would be nice. I don't think that's realistic anymore. My original thought was let's definitely get to 125 by the end of July, and let's use that to skyrocket to the 140s in August. I really like that. Listen, I would be shocked if we don't hit 125 in the next 10 days. Too much buying pressure. There is FOMO. Some retail is definitely entering in, and the demand is higher than it has been in a while in this cycle. You got positive news, and people know, right? They know August and October are huge Bitcoin months. The year after the halving, it is what it is. Again, things can always change, but I can't imagine we're not going to make new highs pretty soon.
Yeah, and I think with this bill passing today, I think you are going to see us back in the 120s, and you may see it hit 125. It was at 123 just the other day.
A couple days
So,
ago, yeah.
so there's no Bitcoin has the strength and it has the buying pressure to get to 125. So if this bill passes, I could see this Bitcoin anyway skyrocketing, and anything is possible with Bitcoin.
Well, the other thing I want to talk about is even with the dip yesterday, ETH really did a good job of staying above 3,000, in fact, over 3,100. And that really means that we are close to BTC dominance going low enough so we can finally have that awaited alt season. Now, I want to warn you guys, this alt season is not going to be waiting for the 10 to 20 to 30 to 50 to 100 X's. This is going to be waiting for the 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% pumps and taking profits if you're smart. Watch the show, share the show, because a lot of people are going to get hurt, unfortunately, I believe. I believe a lot of people are going to do what we used to do, take screenshots of our phones and share instead of taking profits. Those screenshots don't do anything for you. I've got screenshots, Mr. FOMO, from 2019 from Luna that that don't do me any good. You know what they're worth right now? A big fat zero. Okay, and
There's
I'm
some
not
good
going to look at.
content on the show.
I'm not putting those on the screen. I'm not looking at it. I remember showing you one. I remember this, and you're saying, "What do you take that?" And I said, "No, no. I think Luna has room." And next, I think 8 weeks later, it crashed. So lesson learned. We're trying to help you guys, especially if you're new. The screenshots are nice, but they don't mean anything.
Yeah, don't round trip your bags. Make sure that you are paying yourself for the time that you've spent. Now, I really can't stress that enough. You have spent time researching, you spent time staring at my stupid face when I'm on this show. You've spent time doing all of this stuff, buying your coins. why not pay yourself for that time? You know, you wouldn't put up with going to your job every day and them not paying you for the work you put in. Don't put up with that from yourself. Go ahead and pay yourself.
Speaking of paying yourself, all right, if you were into Pudgy Penguins for the last month, you are doing very, very well. That's an understatement. Now it's quite it's done very well over the last 10 days since we brought this up, Mr. FOMO. You were leery at $1 billion. And
Well, explain to them what Pudgy Penguins is, because I wasn't sure what Pudgy Penguins was. I thought this
so
was
they
another
are
NFT
actually
play.
selling. It's not just an NFT play. They are actually selling real merchandise as well, and they're quite popular. They have a really strong, I'll say this, community for now. The communities don't. We saw with ApeCoin. You got to be really careful with the word community. But I look, do your own research. I don't think this thing is topped off. I think this thing could still get to 10 billion, and that would be a 5x from here. Do I say it's a certainty? Absolutely not. I mean, the this could crash at any moment, but I mean, it's not going to last forever. We saw what happened with ApeCoin. Is anyone talking about ApeCoin anymore? No. But this is the play. This is the narrative. This penguin has grabbed the attention. And this is kind of, it's not even a meme coin because there is some value, right? But look, when Coinbase changed their logo to a penguin, that should have been a red flag to everyone that this thing had power. And then now it's getting listed everywhere. Every exchange all over the world is listing Pudgy Penguins. I'm just saying they've caught the narrative. People are excited about it. The volume, look, 1.73 billion for a Pudgy Penguin volume. That's, you know how many companies would dream of getting that type of volume on the regular stock exchange? It just shows you that when whales, yep, when whales and retail get excited, this is what happens.
Yeah, I still don't know about that 10 billion market cap. That's kind of the north end of what the people on X are saying. And so when I look at that and I see that the people on X are saying that this could get to 10 billion, I got to take that with a grain of salt. Those are the people that really want to exit at a lower
Right.
price. So I'd say maybe this has a little bit more legs to it. But you're right. I was leery at $1 billion, and now I'm really leery at 2 billion. But we'll see. You know, I've been wrong about Pudgy Penguins in the past, so I could be wrong about it
Yeah,
again.
don't
But
underestimate the penguin. They might be a cute animal, but they're very dangerous in the cold, Mr. Fong.
yeah,
Don't.
I'm gonna say I don't know how I don't know how much room this has left to run.
Okay. Well, good news is you won't be having to have that talk with your wife that all your Bitcoin has got into Pudgy Penguin. So at least
Yeah.
we have that going for us. All right. So listen, I do believe the quote alt season is about to start. I want to give you guys a very safe pick. You're sitting on the sidelines or you're looking, what's something that's safe that I think can 2x pretty easily here. And I'm going to go back to just one of the classics here. I'm going to tell you this. Do you remember post-election when XRP ripped? Well, quietly this month, right? Very quietly, XRP has been running from $2.20 all the way back. It actually did hit $3. Now it's just below that. I really think we're going to see a $4 XRP this month, and I think $5 to $6 XRP next month. That's right. I think XRP can 2x before the end of the summer, before football season starts. So if you don't have any exposure to XRP, do your own research. Now might be a good time to get in because you might get a 2x in 4 to 6 weeks here. I think XRP will be one of the alts that flies as Bitcoin dominance goes down, it settles. Because let's face it, Bitcoin's not going to 1 million, right? I talked about 150 to 180. Let's say in August, we kind of consolidate in the 140 range, hopefully. This would be one I think would really fly.
Yeah, I think XRP will run. I don't know how far it'll run. The volume right now is making me nervous. It's down 35% over the last 24 hours. But this is definitely one, like, if you wanted to take a big cap and put it in your make it one of the cornerstones of your bag, or at least grab a little bit of it to help secure your bag a little bit, this is definitely one of the less risky altcoins on the market. But I still don't know about altcoins. I don't know that there is much of an alt season ahead of us because, like I've said before, there are 11 million altcoins on the market now, and 8 million that you can search on like Coin Market Cap, right?
Yeah,
So
eight that I think actually exist. I think those other 3 million are dormant and not money one, but that's still a lot. Whether
that's
8 or
still,
11, that's
too many to have access to.
but I agree with you, but let me fight back. I think there are some, like I can't imagine XRP is not going to run with this season we're having, whatever you want to call it. It's a bull run in quotes because it's mostly Bitcoin. I think ETH, like I said, I told our viewers when I did my solo, I'm really looking to take profits at a 5K ETH in the next few months. I'm confident it's going to get there. I really am. Now I don't. If you take your profits at 4K ETH, that's fine. You want to take it at 3,500, that's fine. Some people are still calling for the 10K ETH. I think the 20K ETH is a pipe dream. 15K ETH is a pipe dream. For me, I think some of these classics were still run. Hell, even Cardano's been running the past few weeks. So we're not getting a $5 Cardano, but you could get a $2. I think all of these, there is enough money for a brief one night stand for a lot of these tokens.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the disappointment of the bull run, if there is one, is that they're going to be, like you said, brief one night stands with these coins where they shoot up over one day, maybe a week, and then they're gone.
But let me ask you a question. We didn't talk about this pre-show. Might this give you more of an opportunity if you're willing to jump from token to token quickly? So, for example, let me give you an example. You own XRP and it gets to $4 in the next 5 to 6 days, right? Do you then jump on something like iOS or Injective or Solana or ETH or Litecoin or Avalanche or Sui, Chainlink, Marinade, VChain, the SEI, the list goes on and on. You have a chance to really, really capture some momentum. So if you play it right, risk tolerance, obviously, you got to do your research and you got to have a plan, right? You don't want to just jump into something willy nilly. But maybe you catch pudgy penguins when it's on a bit of a consolidation. So
I think that's what you're looking
that.
for. I think that's what you're looking for at this point in the bull run, is you're going to get some profits out of this one. You're going to take those profits and move them to something that hasn't run yet, but that you can generally count on running. I'm still not a meme coin fan. I'm still not gonna. I'm not gonna be rolling the dice on meme coins that much, just because I think there's too many out there.
Oh, but I agree with you, but I think Doge is still making a run at $1 this bull run. I really
think
do.
there's better options than Doge. I think
look, there's a lot of options, but I think the classics are still going to do okay. I do. Doge at one point this year was at 48 cents. At worst case, I think it's getting back to 50 cents. That's just one example. I'm saying there are. So maybe on the next show we make a list of coins that I think, right now we feel confident at least we'll do something by October. But if you play that game into October, you could make a decent amount. You're not going to 100x your backs. Get that out of your head. Maybe some of you will. Maybe some of you will find the next pudgy penguins before us. God bless you if you do. But I think, listen, if you can double your bags between now and October, I think you should really give yourself a huge, huge pat on the back. Yeah, set yourself some realistic expectations. If you get above that, amazing. But I think one of my mistakes I made was I had too high of an expectations for myself as a trader in the last bull run, and that caught me, Mr. FOMO.
Well, yeah, I think you touched on a good point. Realism and also timing, knowing that this is going to fall apart at some point here at the end of the year. Um, being realistic about not only your profits but the timing and how long this is going to take, I think is important. Otherwise, you're going to be left round tripping your bags.
Okay, is there anything that could be a black swan event temporarily between now and October? Well, yeah, as I joked about before, the people in leadership are in no hurry to release the Epstein findings. And there's a million YouTube shows talking about that. In fact, here's the thing. Wired reviewed his findings from 2 independent video forensics experts who confirmed that the jail cell video where he supposedly committed suicide was altered. Now, I read into this. This is using Adobe. This is something I would expect from my 7th grade students, Mr. FOMO. I mean, this is pathetic from the United States government. We talk about the reality that you got to be careful trusting the government and legacy media here. And, obviously not everything you read on the internet is true, but this is beyond pathetic that, one, that you would alter a video like this, and 2, you would do it so poorly. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. If we had another Julian Assange type situation where there was a leak and the names came out and all the stuff the government's been doing to try to keep this under wraps came out, I do think there would be a temporary black swan, maybe 24 to 48 hours. I think then the market would drastically bounce back. But I just wanted our viewers to be aware of this because the way this administration is handling this is just horrific right now.
Yeah, and normally I would say that this is something that was, just on the internet, but I'm kind of disappointed that mainstream or legacy media isn't covering this because it seems to be from Wired magazine.
Well, they're covering Epstein, but they're not necessarily covering the actual tape that was altered. You're right.
I haven't heard anything about this in the mainstream media. But if this is Wired magazine that is covering this, Wired magazine is no slouch.
No,
and so I'm surprised that you're not seeing this on the regular
I'm not.
news.
I am not. I've watched the legacy media lie for years about very important topics. I mean, I go all the way back to the weapons of mass destruction.
Oh,
and
here we
every
go.
lie. I mean, we talked about this. You don't know anything about JFK. There were so many redacted items from that release. It was 90% in black. You don't know anything. And when you dig deep, you find, I mean, people have not yet read the wiki links. If people actually read the wiki links, I think some of their hair would pop up. I really believe that. I'm not going to go into all the stuff that's in there on this program, but it is available if you do some deep searching. And there are some astounding things that the legacy media, a lot of the stuff in WikiLeaks never appeared on CNN. And these are official government files. So you can't tell me they're made up. They just didn't want you to know about it. So the reality is you have to be responsible for your own education. Turning on CNN for 5 minutes like people did in 1990s is not acceptable. And that's the real reason why they wanted to ban TikTok and they wanted to get a different buyer. It's not because of data. I mean, Palantir is going to have all your data. Anything you do, you go to the bathroom, Palantir is going to have it locked. So that's all bogus. The reason they wanted to get rid of the TikTok was completely because of they didn't want people to have all this information at their hands. This is a very different world than it was in the 80s and 90s and 70s, where you had to either watch the local news, read your newspaper, or watch CNN. You had no other alternative. You do have independent journalism, and not everything independent is correct. It has to be collaborated, but this is a different world, and it's kind of, thanks guys, thanks so much for the super chat. This is a different world, and you have to be the educated one. Don't sit back and let them tell you the entire narrative.
Yeah, I think that's important to remember, is that you can't trust legacy media. You can't trust. You know, I'm blown away that we got a super chat. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
I lost my train of thought there. Yes, thank you, Invest Gains.
Yeah, thank you.
But you can't. You do really have to go out and look for independent journalists, because everything on the media that you see now is bought and paid for, and unfortunately,
You
that's
might
just
be
the
getting the
world we live
truth, but
in.
you might only be getting 20 to 25% of the truth. That's the
That's it.
problem. That's the
Right.
problem. Right. So, guys, keep it here. I am confident, and I plan to hopefully jump on and do a short later after this bill passes. I'm very confident we have some green days and green months ahead of us. I think there's an opportunity here to make a lot of money. Obviously, do your own research. This is not financial advice, but keep it locked on the show, guys. Keep it locked on the show. We're going to be giving you some winners. I'm going to do some deep dives today and some charts, and I'm coming back next time, ranked and loaded, Mr. Fomer, for our viewers, because this is it. We had a very limited time after the election. We had a huge black, dark, red months that we had to live through, and now I think this is our chance. I think we're very limited here. I think you got the rest of this month, August, September, and October. I don't know. September traditionally could be a pullback month a little bit. So really, at best, we got 3 months, in my opinion. A lot of shows are not going to tell you that. They're going to tell you this is going into 2026 because they want the views, they want the subscribers. We are about transparency. So I'm telling you guys, share this show with people, because we're going to be providing some critical information over the next couple months.
All right. See you guys later.